Dance. Put a little boogie in it.
That's what I am getting, yeah. I notice you're conveniently stuffed.
They made the buckets with the flowers and the butterflies. So if you want to hold your flowers with the butterflies up. That took a couple of nights. That was a little messy too because after they colored them with markers, we sprayed them with water, and we had marker stuff everywhere. But I think they turned out very nice and very colorful. Then the third night, they did the dishes. So if you want to all hold your dishes up, they are glass. You can put them in the dishwasher. They're dishwasher safe, and the paint is on the bottom, so you'll be able to use them. And we did bake them at 305 degrees, so they should be ready to go. And that took a little bit longer than I guess what I thought it was going to be, but I think they all had fun. Some of them did them with markers, and then some of them did them with the paint. Then they also made a Christmas card. Some of you have your Christmas card. You want to show them? They made a Christmas card for Christmas for their families. And some of them, they also made Christmas cards for the shoe boxes. So they're in the shoe boxes already. Then the last night, oh wait, I forgot this. They did garland one of the first nights. So it's something that, the garland that I have hanging up there was for a birthday, and we had them cut out their circles with hole punches, and then they glued them together so they can decorate their room or whatever, or if you have a birthday party or something, they can use it for that as well. I was just going to make them for the shoe boxes, have them make them for the shoe boxes, and one of them was like, oh, but we don't want one. So I said, okay, the next night I came, I said, you can all have two, so that every time, no matter how old you are, that when you look at these, you'll pray for the person that got your shoe box. So that's what their prayer request is going to be, that they pray for whoever's going to get their shoe boxes.
I wanted them to know that there's truth about Christ in the Old Testament, and that that's what our foundation is. So we talked tonight about Psalm 1, which is where the trees that are rooted by the river, and their roots are by the water, and they grow strong, you know, they didn't have a choice, but they were planted there, and that we're God's planting. But we talked about the difference between being happy, which is an emotion, and that can go all over the place, but the Bible word for happy is really blessed when you translate it correctly. And blessings don't change regardless of our emotional things going on, even though sometimes, depending on what is going on, we think they have. But and they get it. Kids get that. You know, I think so much more than we as adults sometimes. And then we spend 2 nights talking about living water, and which Jesus said, "I am the living water," and that we can only find Him, and that we will be satisfied with that living water. So we talked about what it means to be satisfied, and we talked about the beatitude that says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be," what was the word? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Right. We find our satisfaction in Christ, and only in Christ. But then it doesn't stop there. So tonight, real fast, I talked about humans and how we were created, and how we were created by God, and that He spoke all of creation into being, but when it came to humans, He formed us out of the dust of the ground, like these strong God hands, thought enough of humans and wanted us to be His companions, that He created us in His image, but He also took His own hands and formed us. But then there we are with this clay, like we talked about clay jars this week and how that's who we are. But then I said, He just didn't blow the breath in. To me, God would have taken Adam with His hands and went right to him and breathed the breath of life into him. That's how much precious we are to Him. And I want them to know that that's how precious they are to God. But then our responsibility to God doesn't end there, because creation was given a job. And we are to take care of the animals and watch over them. But we also, more importantly, are to take care of people. And I want them to know that people, as Christ followers, are to be important to us. And so I talked about, told them tonight that I was at a conference a long time ago, and the speaker at the conference said being created in God's image doesn't stop at being human. But he took somebody up on stage and he said we all have the image of the cross on our face. So when we're talking to somebody, maybe it's somebody that you're really, really angry at sometime, that when you look at them and talk to them, you're looking at the image of Christ true. And that's who people are supposed to be. And then I told them this is what I believe heaven will be for them. And with them in the shoe boxes, it'll be really neat. But I said, I think through our lives, there'll be a line of people who want to get there. and it'll be family and friends and Sunday school teachers and everybody that you knew. But in this line will be people that they never knew. But that there were people that they were kind to because of Christ. The ones that they packed shoeboxes for are going to look for them in heaven and say, I got your shoebox in 2021. You know, or I can't wait, my road rage has ebbed over the years, that somebody's going to say, hi, you left me in. Ha, you left me in. You left me in. You know, I just think there's going to be a line of people that we have no idea how we have affected for Christ. So then you think about how all the people that you affected for Christ, that you don't know, that are going to line up. And that's what these kids need to know, that as Christ followers, it's way bigger. As much as this is a blessing, there is so much that they can do in their community, in their family, in their school, but across the world. And I think now more than ever, we need to encourage them to think really big dreams for God.
Well, what Blake's driving up here is what we worked on all week. What he's driving literally started life in this box in a couple hundred pieces. Screws, pins, arms, plastic pieces. The younger group painted the body that's on it right there. They took paintbrushes and threw paint on it. And then they also got paint on themselves. That was not the objective, but that happened. And then, Blake, you want to kind of explain this part and anything else that you did? Spices today. Go ahead. I'll go on to that, and then I'll open this up.
Then we stuck paint inside here, or tape inside here, and then we painted the back, and then we coated it with white, and then we did the sides, and then windows.
So then the older kids help. There's a differential in here. There's working shocks, camber gauges, caster gauges, which to some of you means absolutely nothing. But suffice to say, you can look over this and see all these little parts. And truly, we as the leaders, there's a crew of them in there, and they were like, nah, we'll stand there. We don't feel good enough. Okay? But several of the teenagers and some dads were here, and they really did build the whole thing. We, a couple occasions, we might have had to get a screw started because the plastic was hard or something, but they did it all. And this little crew here, they worked diligently and took turns and passed it around the table so that everyone had a turn to put something together. And I mean, you can look at that. Every hole down there pretty much has a screw in it. They had to run up through, and it was pretty amazing that they did so good.
For the day and the week then, Miles, age 5 to 7, come on up. Miles here. Come on down. Joanna Hess, come on down if you're here. Caden Horse, if you're here, come on down. There you go, that's for you. There's Caden. Tuesday night was Jacob Hess, and he's not here, right? Ella Snyder, you here? Come on down. And Luke Bagel, come on down. Wednesday was Gage Hoover and Michael Reiner? Micah? Yep. And Carolyn Heidenreich, thank you. My paper's getting wet now. Micah? Wait, wrong one, bud. Tonight was Ryan. Tonight was Ryan, I think. Trevor Lopez and Landon Huffman, come on down. Ryan Moyer.
Can't fit it in because the rest of stuff's hanging. I'm going to.
And Landon. Okay, Luke catch.
Oh, sorry, Luke. That's why I had to catch it.
Where was the guys that got the awards? Oh, right on his head. anybody that got the award not get the ball?
Mingle, did you get?
There's trouble.
Everybody got one now?
Caden.
Oh,
Play goalie.
he's not the goalie. Okay, and for the week overall, we had, I had it as Addie Leitzel, or Addison Leitzel. Are they here tonight? Come on down. You get to wear the smelly shirt for the rest of your life. There you go. Good job, Addie. For the middle group, oh, I forgot to tell you, Addie, what you did. Hold on. I got wet papers everywhere here. It's in here. It's this one. I feel it. It is. Always willing to do what it was, what you were asked of. Thank you for doing that. That's a great quality to have. Anna Snyder took I watched it. Took her brother's water bottle, so he didn't get all hot tonight before the game started. So thank you for that. And the last one it was a tie, I guess you could say. These two showed exemplary teammates. Kara Moyer and Claire Schaefer, you guys were together all the time and worked hard together. I appreciate that. Okay. And now for the challenge competition that we have every year. We started recently in the figure eights. We had in the younger group, you can come on down and I'll give you your water bottle. Aaliyah Goodling won the figure eights. Oliver Harden won the slalom. Aaron Yakimuk did cutting. Longest drive, Carter Klinger. And the fastest was Alexis Portsline. Come on down. Someone else out here?
Aaliyah Hackenberg.
Aaliyah Hackenberg. Oh, it's a Kimberly. So, I had Aaliyah, Oliver, Aaron, Carter, and Alexis. Did I get everybody? Oh, he didn't come down. That's what I thought. Oh, good catch. Okay, in the middle group, figure eight. Andrew King for the figure eight. Slalom, Noah Yakimuk. Cutting, Alex King. The longest drive was Cruz Martin, and Levi Reiner was the fastest. Good job, guys. And in our older group, my papers are really getting soggy. Caden Horst was a figure eight. Slalom was Xander Neiman. Cutting was Ellen Hummel. Eliza Hummel, sorry. Longest drive is Callie Wagner. And fastest was Sylvia Brubaker. Good job.
What?
Okay. So, we have... Mark, you have a comment? Okay. So, I want to thank you. First off, players, campers, do me a favor. The coaches that help us every year, they volunteer their time. They come out, and I hope they give you a good time and you enjoy it. So give them a round of applause for what they did.